Hi, hello, how are you all? Welcome to my channel Law Made Simple with me Vidya Reddy. Today in the series of company law, let us learn about the misstatement in prospectus, the golden rule, and what is the civil and criminal liability for misstatement in the prospectus. Actually, the misstatement is not as such defined in the Companies Act 2013, but the section 34 of the Act states that any statement which is untrue or misleading from the context is called as misstatement of prospectus. Golden rule or golden legacy as to framing of prospectus. The person authorized to issue the prospectus must take reasonable care that there is no misrepresentation or concealment of any material facts, otherwise the contract is voidable at the option of the allottee. This rule is popularly known as the golden rule. Let us look into the liability of misstatement in prospectus. We have civil liability and criminal liability. Under civil liability, when this company is sued against the company, we can go for the rescission of the contract and claim for damages. Under civil liability, when we sue the directors or promoters, we can claim for the damages, compensation under section 62 and damages for non-compliance under section 56. Under damages, we can claim only for damages and also for fraudulent misrepresentation. Under criminal liability, we have certain sections which give fines, penalties and imprisonment. Under section 56, fine up to 50,000 rupees, and under section 58A, imprisonment up to 5 years, and under section 59, penalty up to 50,000 rupees, and under section 60, penalty up to 50,000 rupees. Under section 63, imprisonment up to 5 years or with a fine up to 50,000 rupees or both. Under section 68, imprisonment up to 5 years or a fine up to 1 lakh or both. This is a tabular representation of liability of misstatement in prospectus. Liability, section 35 of the Companies Act 2013 imposes it. The persons responsible for misstatement or untrue statement of the prospectus are liable to pay compensation to the persons who subscribed to the shares and debentures relying on such false information in the prospectus. Such persons may include directors, promoters, experts, anybody. So this can be explained in the case law of Greenwood versus Leathershot Wheel Company. This wheel manufacturing company issued a prospectus which stated that the orders had already been received from House of Commons to supply wheels for the trolleys in use of that house. In fact, not even a single order was obtained except for trial and by way of experiment. So such kind of very untrue statements. So the judgment was held that the prospectus contained untrue statements and the directors were held liable. So there are certain defenses for these directors and experts also under section 35 clause 2, that they can withdraw the consent without any knowledge, saying without any knowledge. They are ignored of these untrue statements and on the ground of belief and reliance on experts' opinion, he couldn't do anything, and statement based on public official document also he can defend his liability. And defenses to civil liability available for the expert are also under section 35 clause 2. He can also withdraw of writing before the delivery of the copy of prospectus for registration. He can do a public notice of the withdrawal and for the reason therefore, and competent to make a statement with reasonable ground to believe that he. Coming to the criminal liability, which is explained in section 34 of Companies Act 2013. There are two liabilities, that is liability for non-disclosures and liability for misstatements. Liability for non-disclosures, according to section 26 of the Companies Act, every prospectus states matters like information regarding the objects of the company, shares, managerial personnel, minimum subscription, preliminary expenses and working capital. Everything should be explained in detail. So if these disclosures are not made, the person responsible for the same shall be punished with a fine which may extend to rupees 5,000. So he can also get a defense stating that he has no knowledge that the matter was not disclosed, and maybe the non-disclosed matter was immaterial, or having regard to all these circumstances of the case, the person sued ought to be excused. Coming to the liability for misstatement. Section 34 recognizes criminal liability of every person who authorized to issue the prospectus in respect of untrue statements contained in the prospectus. Any person found guilty or fraud may be punished with imprisonment not less than 6 months, but which may extend up to 10 years, and a fine which shall not be less than the amount involved in the fraud, which may extend to 3 times the amount involved in the fraud. So he can also get defense stating that he will not be criminally liable if he proves that the statements were immaterial to that case, and he can also say give a reasonable ground to believe that it is proved. As such, we have come to the end of the session. It's riddle time. Please answer the riddle in the comment section. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.